what's up? All right, look, you're in your 20s and you're like, man, I need to make some money, right? These Gucci belts are expensive. These Louis Vuitton bags that I gotta buy these chicks to go out on dates, they're driving me crazy, right? Like, I understand. And I'm gonna help you and give you a plan and a playbook so that you can make 6 figures in your 20s. And I did it. And look, I don't have a high school diploma. I don't have a college education. I didn't even have a dad. I didn't have a good home that I came from. So you're probably light years. I even have 2 felonies. You're probably light years ahead of me. And if I did it in the early 2000s, it's way easier to do it right now in 2023. So it don't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s. If you're trying to make more money, you're trying to hit that 6-figure mark, I'm gonna tell you how to do it. First of all, you're probably wondering who the hell I am. I'm Ryan Stewman, and I help entrepreneurs and business owners make more money. They know me as the hardcore closer and the founder of Apex. I've got multiple companies. Any measure of success you're looking for, I've achieved it, all right? So let's just leave it there. But look, here's the thing that you've got to do. If you want to make 6 figures in your 20s, in my opinion, without going and getting some fancy degree or something like that, there's only one path. And that path is sales. If you invest that money, if you invest $1 in your 20s, it becomes $100 when you're my age. You're 44, 24 years later. Okay, so the money that you make right now is actually some of the most important money that you'll make of your entire lifetime if you're responsible for it. And what happens is they get money, they blow it. They get money, they blow it. One of the mistakes I made in my 20s is when I started getting it, I spent it like it was gonna be forever, and then guess what happened? We went through a recession. My mindset had to change, but allow me to share these stories with you so that you don't have to go through it. So the easiest way to get it 6 figures in your 20s without a degree, without a high school diploma, without any of that, is to get a sales job. See, sales is a commission-only job where you go out and a company provides a product and you go out and you are the front man for the company. So if you're selling a product and the product costs $100 and they give you a 25% commission, then you get $25 for every sale that you make, right? Sales is one of those things where a company may not take a risk on you as an engineer without an engineering degree. A company may not take a risk on you as a manager without a managing degree. But companies will always take risk on people who are low risk. And what I mean by that is a salesperson's low risk. They come in, they're commission only, and if they don't work and they don't get sales and they don't make money for the company, they don't make money for themselves, but they also don't cost the company money. What are you gonna do to get a job that pays 6 figures in your 20s? How are you gonna get that sales job? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to establish yourself online, right? These days, employers, even if it's a sales job, employees are going and looking at your social media presence. They wanna know what you look like. First of all, let's talk about Facebook. And look, you're in your 20s, you're probably like, Facebook, dude, we talking about my grandma's website? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, your grandma's website. Facebook has 3 billion users. Employers assume if you don't have a Facebook account, something's sketchy. So here's how you set up your profile. You can use mine, Ryan Stewman, on Facebook as an example. You put a profile picture with a picture of you. Like, people can actually see what you look like. The employer knows that's your face. You put a background picture of something that represents what you stand for. Cars, family, friends, something like that. Then you open your profile and you have them a little quote there that tells a little bit about you. And listen, you need to start posting on Facebook. All the people that own businesses that you want to work for, they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you look for a job, you want to make sure that your stuff looks right where all the 30, 40, and 50-year-old people that own businesses are. Business owners are looking at your TikTok. They're looking at your Instagram. So make sure you've got a good profile picture. Make sure you've got a good bio. Make sure your account is public so people can see stuff. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to make my account public. Stop saying stupid. If you don't want people to read from the public, stop saying stupid online. Because you think and say right now, you're gonna not be that same person when you're my age. You won't think that way, you won't act that way, you won't believe that way. So don't say that you don't want the world to read anyway. And here's the thing that you gotta understand, anything that you do say on there, the world is reading it anyway, just not your world. And what I mean is the government's reading it, Facebook headquarters reading it, it's stored in the cloud, every keystroke, even if you didn't send it, even if you said, F you, mother effer, and then you deleted it, it's still stored that in the cloud. So be careful what you're saying, because a lot of times, in our 20s, we say things that we regret later. Treat Facebook as if it's a professional bookmark for you to go get a job and somebody to look at your online resume. Number 2, you need to get yourself educated. How do you get educated without going to college? You read books. I'm gonna tell you a book that you need to read that will hone in your sales skills in a modern way. There's lots of great sales books out there that tell you how to pick up a phone, use a script, and all that stuff. That's not how sales works these days. Our communication method has changed. I don't like getting cold calls, do you? No. So I'm gonna give you a book that's actually gonna break down for you moves that you can make online, moves that you can make in social media to actually generate business for the company that you go to work for. Because there's two types of sales jobs. You have a sales job where you're commission only, and it's up to you to just go out and get the leads, right? So the company might sell tires, and it's your job to go out and get as many people to buy tires as possible, but the company's not providing you with tire buyers. You got to go find your own tire buyers. Or there's two where the company sells tires and they have a bunch of buyers and they need you to be the middleman between them and the buyers to close the sale, right? So the first one scenario with tires where you're doing outbound and cold calling and all this stuff, that is called outbound sales. So that's where you're beating the street, drumming up your own business, right? You're self-supporting. The second setup is called inbound leads, right? So typically when you go generate your own leads and you do outbound sales, what happens is you get paid a little bit more commission than you do if you do inbound sales. Inbound sales cost the company money for them to generate leads, so they pay you a little bit less, but you have guaranteed leads coming in. So know the difference. And the name of that book is Elevator to the Top, right? You can go on Amazon and look it up, Elevator to the Top. The dude that wrote it is a sales genius with over $1 billion under his belt. This guy's a big player, so you need to go and read that book. I wrote it, just for those of you that are new here, that's my book, but I'm telling you, that's the sales book that you need to read and get in your hand and get in your mind to go make money. The third thing you need to do is start applying for jobs. Now you've set up your online presence, right? You got your social media and everything set up. You've read Elevator to the Top, so you got some understanding of how sales works and how follow-up and everything else. So now let's go have some conversations with some employers. Go to monster.com, go to any of these sites, sign up as a person looking for a job and make some applications. Look, if you're in the state of Texas, the best sales job you can have in your 20s, in my opinion, is selling cars. You're not gonna get rich selling cars. You're probably gonna make $5,000 to $10,000 a month. In my opinion, that's not getting rich. Cars will teach you sales, and car dealerships will damn near hire everybody. Let me give you a tip on working at a car dealership. Don't go work at Toyota. Don't go work at Ford. Don't go work at Kia. Why? Because if you go work there, you're gonna get a whole lot of experience, but you're gonna be dealing with the average public. You wanna go get a job selling Lexus, selling BMW, selling Mercedes, selling Lamborghinis, right? And so in the car business, people don't like car salesmen. So you're gonna learn to navigate around people who don't like you and still do business with you. It's gonna make you a killer salesperson. If you're selling for Mercedes, you're always around high-end people. You're starting to build a network. If you're selling for Lexus, you're always around high-end people that can afford a little bit more than the average person. You start building your network because like you work in your 20s, 2-3 years as a car salesperson, build up your network, work for a great dealership, build a network of clients, then go become a real estate agent, then go become a mortgage officer, then go sell insurance. Go in there, live like you're poor for 3 years, make $10,000, $15,000 a month if you can, put every dime back that you got, and then go get you another commission-only job selling real estate, doing mortgages, insurance, something of that nature. And you take that real estate job, and now you've built a network from the people that you've sold expensive cars from. If people buy Mercedes, they buy houses. If people buy BMW, they can afford a home, most likely, right? You're gonna deal with a lot of older crowd that's more established. You're gonna have a good network. They're gonna like you. And there's gonna be a high chance that one of those people recruits you into a better job. Why don't you come work for me? I know you're not making as much money here in the car business as you could working for my XYZ company. After all, it's what happened to me. I was selling car washes. I wasn't even selling cars. I was selling car washes, and a customer came in, liked how I rolled, and after a while, she offered me a job making more money, and that's exactly what happened, and that's when I became a millionaire in sales in 2005. Step 4 is getting the job. Okay, you don't want to just go and apply at one place and say, yes, I'll take the job. Go apply at 5 different places: BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Infiniti, and Jaguar, right? I'm just giving you some cars. Go apply at 5 different places, sit down 5 interviews. You're gonna be a lot better on that 3rd interview than you were on the first one. But then you've got 5 interviews that you've been on, 5 different sales positions that you've applied for, and now you can make a decision, right? That the BMW place is selling, the average person there sells 20 cars a month at $1,000 a pop, and at the Jaguar place, the average salesperson sells 5 cars a month and makes $2,000 a pop. You're still better off selling BMW, right? So now you can make that educated decision, and then you get in the field, take the job, and get the experience. And like I said, you should only be working there for 2 or 3 years, and you should be focused on what your next move is. I'm here to get experience and then move on. You make 6 figures a year, 2 or 3 years, you move on to multiple 6 figures a year. By the time you're 30, you're making $250,000 a year. By the time you're 40, you're making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. But the investments that you made are also paying you into your compounding decade, which is your 50s. So the way that it works is you're setting yourself up in your 20s to win for the rest of your life. See, a lot of people set themselves up in their 20s to lose for the rest of their life. They go get a massive amount of collegiate debt. They go and they party and drink their time away and go get a mediocre job that just pays the bill instead of being intentional about it. And then by the time they're 30, they look up, they've got a mountain of debt, they're stuck in a job that they don't like, and they don't make 6 figures a year because they had to take the job that paid the bills, not the job that they wanted to get paid to do, and they ruin their whole life. So you get a chance to make mistakes in your 20s, but to be intentional with the way that you do life and money to set yourself up to where when you're my age, you're a million times richer than I am. Making these little smart shifts in decisions will allow you to not only make 6 figures in your 20s, but to continue that and to grow it to 7 figures and beyond by the time you reach your 40s and 50s. If you got something from this, if you learned something from this, leave me a comment below. Myself and my team, we check every comment, we reply to them, we like them. We want to have a conversation with you. If you're in your 20s, you're like, man, I live in a town that don't even have car dealerships. Go find something to sell. Go on 5 interviews across 5 different industries. Whatever you've got to do to make it happen. Because listen, if I did it in the early 2000s, before the internet, with the GED, a felony, and everything else, oh, you got this. You got this. You got everything that I didn't have in your hands and a bright future in front of you. Make sure you don't mess that up. Let's go get that money. Rise above.